Hey there, folks. Yet again, another video for Retro CSS Daily Targets. These are from the 24th, 25th, and 26th. I'm sort of inviting an explosion because I've never gotten 100% on this double horns. Not sure exactly what that is, but kind of an interesting shape. And so let's get right to it. Let's go blank template. Right, these are my GitHub plugins, but this is so evidently a conic gradient to me that I just have to do it right away. I'm sure this is how I did it before. This is probably one of the ones that excited me more than you could possibly imagine when I first did it. And so that's, you know, you can use degrees, 0, 180 degrees, 0 to 70 degrees, and 0, and that will get it done. And I believe that'll be a 100% match. Ooh, and we'll get that answer. So yes, you can also use 25%. In this case, right, you can use percentages because they are even splits and mathematically a clean result, and you get the same look and feel. I believe also you can drop both of these and add the word repeating. Is that right? By adding, yes, by adding color stops with 2 digits, right? So it's plump, and then keep doing that until you loop around. And in this case, that loops cleanly. So I'm going to minify and unit replace, and that I think is probably the shortest I can do. Obviously, with basic squares like this, you could create elements, you could create box shadows, you could create a single element. Many choices. This would be my preferred mechanism for this one, but this is a fun one to experiment with for yourselves. How to make a checkerboard. There are many choices. In this case, it covers the whole body, so it's not a checkerboard with completely square squares, right? You've only got 4 quadrants. It's not repeating and expected to be lots of squares. If we did 0, 0, 50%, oh wait, so okay, I'm putting it in the wrong place. Sorry about that. You could do that, right? So adding a background position of this of the top corner, and then setting a size, and then you get this repeating thing. And because I chose 50 by 50, which is divisible into the 400 by 300, it's a nice even clean thing. If I do 100 by 50, you get that look, and 100 by 100 is another even number. Now, if I do something perverse like 35 by 35, I start to see the edges, like, oh, that doesn't cleanly go. But it still repeats, but it's just, there's something a little bit off about that, right? Like you always want to account for that. Now you can mitigate that a little bit by setting the center in the middle with a 50%, 50%. And so now that distribution is a little bit more even at the edges. So that's another choice for making a checkerboard, which is, you know, one of the most common things that I do. You don't have to use, you know, such contrasting colors. You could choose 2 more subtle colors, or even more contrasting. You know, black and white is sort of a classic checkerboard. Be that as it may. All right, let's get to this guy. I would feel tempted to set, like, could you do this with a body of font size 50 VH and a color of, you know, red, and then, you know, make box shadows or whatever with that, or text shadows to sort of fill that in. It's a fun idea, but, you know, ridiculous. But this is kind of what that makes me think of. We're not doing that. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so what will we do? I think it's all... so I'm not sure. Actually, let's do the blank template. One thought I have is that this could be done, and I don't remember the prior solution that I did, using a border radius. So a border radius, I think it might not be suitable, but maybe it is. All right, so let's use some numbers to push that into place. 5, 6, 7, and then he's taller. 2, 3, 4, 5, 55, 54, 4, 3, and then more margin. 7, 75. Yeah, so the way that is not aligning correctly. 25. How about 32, 70, 77, 50. Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in that. So let's do this as chunks of circles. Let's see if we can get that. All right, so what does that look like? We'll start with a radial gradient of inner of that and outer of that, and it's a circle, and that's how you get that circle. 40 pixels and 0, and then I guess we need a transparent out here at the end. Okay, so this is what we've made, and then we're going to move it using that same background position technique. Minus 40 pixels. And I guess vertically we need to move it up. Minus 10 pixels. How about minus 5 pixels? Minus 2. Minus 1. Minus 2. Minus 3. Minus 4. So probably that radius is not good. 30, 20, 15. So this is too large, this 100 number. So let's try 80. And then move him over more. 2, 3. And then set a 0 there. So you know what I'm... Alright, so I'm adjusting those values. So that could be right. It's close, but I'm not sure that's bad. It doesn't look great to me. So I'm going to do a variable here, var -sg, and I'm going to reuse it with a comma, and then this number should be positive. And then over top of it, I'm going to do linear gradient from side to side. Transparent, coming in from 90 degrees, and then cover it with this beige, and then also letting it see through to there. So let's call it 100 pixels, 0, 120, 30, 40, 41, 42. And then another color stop, 200 pixels, and 0, 2, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61. No, that's getting worse. 59, 58. And then let's submit that and see if we get 100% match. We've got a little bit of edges that I don't like, but I think it's close. Yeah, so that's 99.9% match, and that's not good enough. So what do we need to do to adjust this guy? Okay. I'm going to move. What am I going to do? I'm going to make this, what, larger? Okay, so no. That's actually good. Good enough, I think. How about 50.5? Okay, and then how to 80.5? Also not terrific. That's 100% match. So those are weird numbers. And I have an instinct around, are these numbers just slightly wrong? Because I've seen so many diffs at this point that when I see those edges of the anti-aliasing showing that diff and not clean black, so the reason the diff is so valuable is that if the colors are identical, you get solid black. That's what the difference algorithm does, and this is something I first encountered in Photoshop 30 years ago. A designer showed me, here's how to align two things, Joe, and it blew my mind to see, well, here's now you can see the differences. Using that difference, you can say, oh, here's exactly what's different about those two things. So why am I telling you that? Why am I telling you that? Oh, so when I see those edges, like, okay, well, what numbers would I adjust to adjust that edge to make that be slightly different? And so that these radius, the radius on the gradient is the key there. So I'm going to minify, unit replace, and submit, and that's a completion. Let's see. Yeah, so that's a better score than I've gotten in the past, whatever I ended up doing in the past. Yeah. All right. Next. So this is a 99.9% guy, which I remember these being very frustrating. I'll look at solutions. There are no 100% matches listed here. The last time I tried it was 8 months ago. Let's see how we do. I'm gonna go blank template here, and so is this 2 black circles, or is this a rounded rectangle? I don't know. So I'm going to set, I'm going to go for rounded rectangle first. And my default, again, the default plugin that I've got sets a red, but it's the wrong red. Well, that's no good. Okay, so let's see what we can do. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and then 100 on the sides, 120, 110, 11, 12. What happens if I border radius this guy? Border radius 50 pixels. Color me shocked. Okay, I will take that. Given the difficulty they had before, I'm very surprised that that works. It must be something that I didn't try, or there's other things in store for me, like these aren't real circles, or they're ellipses, or something like that. So I think I need 3 more circles. I need at least 1 more circle. So let's do the second one. P plus P is white background. It's got a height, margin. I'm going to put a border radius of 0 while we're placing it. And then margin, it's off screen because of these margins. It's pushed down below. But if I do a minus 100 and then 170 or something, that's too much. Regardless, So now I'm going to move it up. Minus 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And less margin on the sides. 6, 5, 4, 41, 42. And then a border radius. Oh, if I undo, no. No, that should work. Border radius of 50 pixels should work. Boom. And then I need another. No. So what I'm left with, I think that I can do a radial gradient inside the first one. So let's do that. Radial gradient, circle of a transparent circle, because we can see through to the back. And if the white circle is 50 pixels and if the red circle is the same, then this is 50 pixel radius. And then black. There's your circle. And then with background position, so that looks like 0, minus 10, which is not valid. I want a minus 10, minus 15, minus 25, 26, 7, 28, 29, minus 30. Oh, I hope that's right. That would be great. Let's find out. And that's 100% match. So whatever curves daunted me before, I now have the techniques to do that a little bit better. So I'm going to variabilize what I can variabilize. So dash dash B is this background gradient. And then we can do dash dash B. The height. It's actually the height, same in both, so I can just remove that. Margin, I'm going to bar dash dash M, comma, and then dash dash M here. Remove trailing comma. Let's resubmit and make sure I've not introduced a bug here. I'm a big believer in, there's a thing called test-driven development, which is always checking your tests or writing. Well, this is a bad example. I didn't write a test before I started doing anything. Although you could say that this target is the test, and I'm writing code to adhere to the constraint of this is what it is expected to look like. If it doesn't look like that, and that the submission is a kind of test. That's not something that's ever occurred to me before, but it's kind of an interesting idea. Minify unit replace, there's no units here too. And so that's a completion. And that's it. With an ominous score for this one of 666.66. No comment on that. So anyway, this is a very pleasurable, very fun set of puzzles. I said I left this in a state that's not the design. So that's what, August 24th, 25th, and 26th of 2024. Continue my project to do videos of all of the daily targets that CSS Battle puts out. Very enjoyable. Hope you have a great day. Go make a web page. Everybody's carrying around web browsers. It's really cool. Bye-bye.